Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Capricorns. Who is ready for one hell of a reading? I feel it. I know it. I know this is going to be a good reading. Um, it's interesting because, our guides are putting this feeling in me like, get ready, Sandy, get ready. So, so let's get into it. This is going to be for Capricorn sun, moon, or rising. You could certainly be in love with the Capricorn. My granddaughter is a Capricorn, December 26th, Faith. And I know a lot of you share her birthday, so I love you already. Um, Also, this is for those who are intuitively guided, which more and more of you are. It just means you're really paying attention to your intuition. And I think you should be very proud of that. You know, I feel like that's one of the secrets in life. When we really learn to trust our intuition, we pay attention to the red flags, then I feel like life flows so much easier. So, whatever brought you, welcome. Let's go ahead and get into your reading. So we will have Mother Mary opening the reading. We're going to use the crystal vision to clarify and go deeper. Have a feeling this is going to be a long reading, so know that going in. And, if you're someone who doesn't have, maybe you don't have the time to watch the whole reading, I would definitely at least watch to the beginning, but then watch the last 10 minutes because that is where I feel like, I don't want to say it's the most important part of the reading. Um, but I feel like there is so much clarity there. So if you have the patience, watch the whole thing. If not, break it up or watch the beginning and the end. But I hope you watch the whole thing. So anyway, we're going to use the Tarot of Dreams for your main spread. The deck I really love for you. And of course, we're going to use our major arcanas, and we will use those like as bullet points. But they tell their own beautiful message all on their own. But then everything will relate back to your main spread. I have the clarifying love situations and the romance angels all ready to go in case love comes into the picture. But honestly, when doesn't it? And that is life. That is life. All right. I'm going to give him a cut. And anyone new, first of all, welcome to everyone. But I just want to let you know that all my decks are always pre-shuffled. I'm going to bring the lid down. This is when I'm really meditating on your sign. This is why I know it's going to be a good reading, because Spirit put it within me. So let's let Mother Mary open up the reading. So Mother Mary for Capricorn, and those intuitively guided. By the way, because I'm asking about those intuitively guided and those who may be in love with a Capricorn, I want you to know that your spirit guides know that you're here. They may have even nudged you here. So, if you're not a Capricorn, just know that if you're here, there'll still be messages for you. I just know how our guides work. Okay. Mother Mary says gratitude. Gratitude. As I notice and appreciate my blessings, I open the door to more of God's gifts. As I notice and appreciate my blessings, I open the door to more of God's gifts. Health, health. My prayers for healing miracles have been heard and answered. Interesting. So some of you may have been praying about health. I know I've been praying a lot for Sam, who is going through so much right now. And like no doctor has an answer for him. It's really driving us crazy. The poor guy is in constant pain. Anyway, I don't know why I'm saying that right now. I feel like there's a blessing also, like over a home, like a home, like I want to say a homestead is being blessed. And of course, the people, but I feel like it's even more than that. And I'm picking that up intuitively, has nothing to do with the cards. Um, but I see that like, like someone owns a farm and it's not producing, or you're having a hard time making it, right? Paying the bills, that type of thing. I feel like, there's external influence going on right now. So I'm hoping that what I'm picking up means that, well, it does mean that the blessings are coming your way. So I was kind of looking for that confirmation from my guides. Does that mean, is that good news? And it is good news. And by the way, feel free to ask your guides who do connect with mine, by the way, because we're all one big soul family. But you can certainly ask them to give you signs, a confirmation, um, through words or numbers. But I would say the main thing is you should feel this reading. Like it should almost feel like a personal reading. Speaking of personal readings, I do want to let you know that I am running that special in October. So anyone who purchases a personal reading in the month of October will be entered into a contest, and I will pick one name, and they're going to win a future reading. No expiration date on that. Whenever, the only stipulation is it does need to be scheduled. But other than that, someone's going to win. Someone's going to win. And I'm thinking of new ideas also, like I may give some an option. Maybe in November we'll do this, but we'll see. Maybe in October, um, where I may start doing like win a free tarot deck. Um, we'll see. Different than my mind's now spinning, and I want to just reconcentrate back on this reading. But I wanted to let you know that. Okay. We have the High Priestess, your intuition, your higher self. I love the fairy dust. I have a feeling for someone, fairy or fairy dust was your word of confirmation. I don't know why I'm picking that up. But I love that fairy dust around her. I feel like she's making miracles happen. And this is you. This is your higher self. The high priestess is a reminder that your intuition is a gift you were given to use in this lifetime. It is your GPS. So trust it, follow it. Okay. But I have a feeling this is saying that there's some signs that are on their way. And how you're going to know is going to be through your intuition. And by the way, if you receive a sign, but then you're uncertain, like, was that a sign? Ask your guides to send it again. They'll send it again. And if you still wonder, ask them to send it again. Make it bigger. Make it so I can't deny it. All right. We have the Strength card. card of Leo. Number 8 has the infinity goggles on, as above, so below. No beginning, no end. Strength card really talks about oneself. It's that balance of the inner beast within us, the light and the shadow. It can talk about, something that maybe you thought you couldn't overcome, but then you do. And, you should congratulate yourself every time you overcome an obstacle, because that is what's making you who you are today. All right, well, hello, lovers. So, speaking of love, lovers, card of Gemini, meaning is a head over heart decision. But in this image, we can clearly see the angel's influence over these lovers. It's like Cupid is about to shoot that arrow. But not just for one, for two. This is undeniable chemistry. And then we have the Fool. So, a new beginning. Interesting. So you've so far, two cards that speak about a new beginning. One has you overcoming something. Like what I feel is like what you're finding is balance. Like you're finding balance within yourself. So the Fool's about taking a leap of faith. And the Fool is looking right at the lovers. And then we have, oh my, 2 more cards. I'm going to turn those around. Well, nope. Okay. So we have the Devil, card of Capricorn. This definitely talks about temptations. Being tempted to something. I feel like it, by the way, it is also your major arcana in reverse. So some of you may not be feeling this balance yet that I feel that you will be. And I definitely feel this is the energy of you overcoming something. Again, something within yourself. And then we have, well, look at that, the Hangman in the awakened position. It all of a sudden, I'm remembering back in January of this year where I think it was January where I said I felt that there was going to be a lot of people having spiritual awakenings. And you're really the first one for November that I've seen this actually for a while. And, a spiritual awakening, remember, it's not something that's overnight, but it is like your truth. It is truth. And I feel like your truth, or you being very truthful with yourself, I feel like has served you well. So, jumping into this Fool's energy, I feel like there is nothing that's holding you back. Some of you may still be in the energy of trying to find that balance within. But I would say still take that leap of faith. And it may be speaking about love. The Fool's looking right at the lovers. And I love the Hangman in the awakened state mirroring the High Priestess, your intuition. Wow. I mean, you want to talk about being able to not only notice the signs, but follow the signs. Remember the Fool is starting at the beginning. Even if this is something that once was, but it's coming back around again, which in a universal year 9, that can certainly happen. It would still be new, if that makes sense. And the reason why it's probably new is the spiritual growth between then and now. I mean, here you are in the awakened state. I couldn't be prouder. I couldn't be prouder. So, let's go ahead and bring in the Tarot of Dreams. Hopefully, we will find out who this other person is in the lovers with you. Because remember, you're one of them. Ready or not, here I come. Okay. They did not want to come up. We have the King of Wands, King of Action. This is a king who definitely moves according to what I feel passionate about. And by the way, for those who are new, those who've been with me know that I'll give you the sign, but then I don't really read it as that sign. So it can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have Leo on the board. But honestly, I feel like this is more about you following a passion and, taking fear out of the equation. And then we have the Emperor. Beautiful energy. Number one, if you want to start a business, or let's say you already own a business, you may start to really see the fruits of your labor. When you have a spiritual awakening and the Emperor, that's powerful energy. This is the seed planter. And it's a reminder for us to remember that we're always planting seeds. Those seeds we plant now is what's going to determine our future harvest. This is someone who is methodical, probably likes to put plans in place. I don't feel like they have to. Because the Empress goes more by the seat of her pants, and the Emperor, I feel like, again, is more methodical. But this is someone who definitely wants to help others. Like, helping my fellow man and woman makes me feel good. And this is the leader of the people. Now, when I say leader of the people, it doesn't mean you're leading the world. It's just you're the leader in whatever you're doing. But how do I love that you're bringing your spirituality into the mix? Also card of Aries, by the way. But think of it as the seed planter. Because with the Fool here, it's important to plant those seeds. And with the spiritual awakening, I feel like whatever seeds you plant, baby, you're going to see that harvest. All right, let's keep going. Now, let's talk real quick about the Emperor with love, because he is connected very closely to the lovers. So this is someone who I feel like would be great in love. This is someone normally that we can look up to. If he was in reverse, then not. We wouldn't look up to him. But this is someone who I feel like has, lived a lot of life, but I'm not talking like age-wise. I mean, has gone through a lot of experiences and has overcome, and it doesn't mean that the Emperor has been perfect. The Emperor could have been in a self-created prison for a while, but the realization of that, the hangman is the truth in the awakened state, like your truth. All right, let's keep going. Look at this. We have the Fool again, and how interesting that the Fool is connected right between the lovers and the other Fool. And then we have the Three of Cups, joy. It asks you to rejoice in celebration. Something is coming together. Something is coming together. Something is going to bring joy to your heart. I like what I'm seeing. All right, let's keep going. So 2 fools, 2 lovers, the Emperor, I have a feeling both these lovers are in the awakened state. And they may be guided together. You know, like the fool may not even the fool's just taking a leap of faith on this new path. And that can mean, that you may have ended something and now something new is beginning. I would say get excited, but also be open because it may be different than what you think. But listen, there's 2 fools here, and 2 lovers. So I feel like there's 2 people who hopefully are willing to take this risk. It's interesting. I called it a risk. It may feel that way. Love may feel that way to some, like, oh, I got to take a risk. How do I know I won't get my heart broken? Well, the fool would remind you that you're planting those seeds right now. So don't plant them from fear. And don't allow people of the past to have any effect or any say so in your present or your future. That's why the fool clears the past. I'm not going to allow someone who had nothing but hurtful words, put me down, made me feel less than. I'm not going to allow them to affect my potential any longer. And potential, it is showing. Oh, my God. Capricorn. I knew this reading was going to be off the charts. So now we literally have 2 fools and literally have 2 lover cards. And look at that. It's interesting because in this image, they're just about to touch hands. And I have a feeling when they do, there's going to be this electric shock to the body. You're going to feel it. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? But then look at these lovers. Look at the embrace. And by the way, they're both naked. Doesn't mean sexuality. I mean, I guess it could. To me, when you see someone naked in any of the tarot cards, it's about being your authentic self. No need to wear a mask, nothing to hide, right? I am who I am. Doesn't mean I'm not willing to grow even more. But this is about 2 people who are pretty comfortable within their own skin and very comfortable together. Probably very intimate. I can't help take that, not, I don't want to take that off the table. Because I feel like, All right, let's keep going. That didn't want to come up. Interesting. We have the King of Cups under the King of Wands. So this could be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And this is a king who really does love being in love. In the upright. In the upright. In reverse, I would tell you to run. That means they share their love with everyone. Well, I don't think you want that. But in the upright, this is someone, the way I like to describe it is, like I feel like we all have that one special person in our life, whether it ends up being someone that we love romantically or just a great friend. There's that. That's what I feel like. This is my person. This is my person. That strength card is really the only image where there could have been a little. Well, I feel like you did have to look within. The strength card is about taming the beast within ourselves. And it can mean anything, really. Like maybe I overindulge in certain things, and then because I do that, I keep getting this, you know what I mean? But I keep doing the same thing and then expect things to be different, but they won't be. And I don't want to put a negative tone on this reading because I feel that most of you, at least you understand, whatever that beast may be within, which we all have. It just be I've been living in my shadow. And now with the hangman in the awakened state, I am now in the light. And by the way, the hangman in an awakened state is in the same line as the lovers here, and the lovers is right below it also. So these fools, these lovers, energetically, I feel like already connected. Physically, maybe not yet, but energetically, yeah. Two of Swords. Okay. And then we have the Star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. But this is about manifesting them. This is about bringing them to light. And again, with the hangman in the awakened position, like, I feel like you would have no trouble in manifesting. Like, what is it you want to manifest today? Now, the Two of Swords before that, unfortunately, puts a little bit of fear energy ahead of this love. And why is that? Because this person is wearing a blindfold. And that just means there's something that they may not want to face. It is mirroring the strength card. But taking the blindfold off is freedom. And I often feel like the Two of Swords, I feel like it's natural. It's more natural fear. It's not the Eight of Swords, but it's still a blindfold. I have a feeling, though, you did rip that blindfold off. Two Swords can block, right? Like, block. But I feel like if that's the case, you're figuring out why. Like, why do I do that? Why do I block true love, let's say? And I feel like I already know the answer. It has to do with the past. But again, that's giving someone of the past control over your present. Like, I really want you to take notice of the synchronicities. And I love the star under the Fool. It's also mirroring the Fool and the Lovers. Ten of Swords. Dang it. Okay. The Death card. card of Scorpio, right under the Lovers. And what comes with that is the Seven of Pentacles, which to me is your tree of life. And, the Seven of Pentacles has a message. The first message is patience. This is about the seeds that have been planted. And, think about when you plant an actual seed. What it's saying is you wouldn't stand over and just be like, come on already, come on. You give it the time it needs to grow, the nurturing it needs. But I feel like this represents what is meant to happen in your life. I often feel when I see the Seven of Pentacles that some of these seeds were planted before we even came into this lifetime, or there's a real guidance, like spiritual guidance guiding two people together. It's unfortunate we have the Ten of Swords. And it's interesting because it is mirroring your major arcana, but in reverse. And the Ten of Swords, it is like taking dagger after dagger in your back. And I feel like it gets to the point of submission. But I feel like this is not this, though. This is what's already happened. Some of you may have realized that you've been in repeat patterns. And it doesn't have to mean with the same person, but maybe the same type. And now you're being introduced to a high vibrational person. Excuse me. Like, for sure, a high vibrational person. And you also being of a higher vibration. I feel like what it's saying is just look at, like, let's remember that we're in a universal year 9. And this year is about reflection. And next year is the year of the magician. So manifesting these dreams, these wishes, beautiful energy next year for that. But we don't have to wait for that. Like if we do this reflection now, which I already know many of you have, and that reflection, it's really over anything, but I definitely feel over self, but also the repeat patterns I've been in and how to break them. And I feel like once I notice that will break it. I feel like the Lovers connected to the Seven of Pentacles, connected to the Foals. This is your person. All right. Well, hello, Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So it's like you feel the passion. You feel this energy. This can be feeling it even before it comes in. This is action oriented though. So you do need to take action. But the Ace of Wands is kind of like, it's that first light that guides you forward. Knight of Wands underneath that. Wow, a lot of passion. A lot of passion. All right, I'm going to bring out the crystal vision and let's just go deeper. This is very interesting. Definitely pay attention to the synchronicities. And again, I love that it's showing both lovers in the awakened state. But remember, the awakened state, it can happen overnight, but it's still, first and foremost, it's your truth. And it's not being fearful of your truth. It's kind of like how the lovers here are both naked, right? Being their authentic self. So it is your authentic truth. And, I feel like if we can just take fear out of the picture, everything else just flows beautifully. And we can take fear out of the picture because I feel like that fear is resonating from what was, not what will be. Now, as soon as I said that, I thought, okay, but first of all, if I don't take the blindfold off, does any of this even happen? I feel like the answer is yes, but it doesn't mean that you decide to go forward. So that is where you are allowing someone of the past or people of the past to affect or block this, what feels like beautiful opportunity. All right, let's start at the beginning, but of course, we're reading it as a whole. We have Four of Pentacles over the King of Wands and the High Priestess. Four of Pentacles speaks about your foundation. And I feel like that's an important component of, let's say this is a new relationship, a new love, even if it's old, but it comes back around, it's new again. So you do want to think about the foundation, right? The stronger your foundation, the stronger the lover's foundation. The what's the word I want to use? Um, the less we worry about these swords, because I feel like some of these swords, especially the 10 swords, it could have happened because the foundation of what you were going through wasn't strong. The Four of Pentacles can also talk about resistance. Though I have to tell you, I like the Four of Pentacles right by the Emperor also, which is the number 4. Because I feel like this is great energy for business ownership or seeing the fruits of your labor. Okay, look at that. The Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles means it's coming into your physical world. Means that whatever's in the star card, it's manifesting. This isn't a feeling. The Ace of Wands is a feeling. That's the passion. That probably ignited the heart chakras of these lovers. And now this is the physical coming together. Well, let me take that back. For some of you, it is physically coming together, and others, it's the physical beginning of this. I don't want to move it too fast. But it's interesting because that Two of Swords, where it really can be a block, it's not blocking it. It almost feels too important. Like your guides are like, you have free will, we know that. But boy, we're going to make all kinds of resistance to get you to take off that blindfold, to get you to see the beauty of what we're bringing, well, what you're manifesting, really. And, spirit guides, their job is just to help guide us towards our hopes, our dreams, our wishes, even our lessons. They're with us all the time. Well, hello, beautiful sun. It's like a brand new day. This is playful energy. This is your illuminator. And it makes sense with the hangman in the awakened state. Right? This is truth. It's also a reminder of anything that's done in the dark will come to the light. So you don't have to fear that. Matter of fact, try to let go control of that. And I get it. Like, if I've had 10 swords put in my back, which I have, it's harder to then accept or to give myself freely. But this is your past. And I feel like that's what your spirit guides really are trying to hammer home. This was the past. This is different. Sun. Card of Leo, by the way. Or Leo's ruler. Also masculine energy. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Double Leo. Over the Three of Cups. Capricorn. Hello, Ace of Cups. Hello, love. Hello, unconditional love. You have three aces. And they're all beautiful. Look at the Ace of Cups coming over the lovers. And the awakened hangman. Now, you want to talk about love. I'm not going to say, because what I was going to say is this feels like the perfect type of love. But it doesn't guarantee like that there won't be any issues. But what I feel in this type of energy, if there's issues, we'll work it out. We'll talk it out. We'll do whatever we need to do. Like love will win. Interesting, you have two strength cards. So again, synchronicities. Someone may have had to have overcome the same things that you've had to overcome. Wow. Okay. I swear, I do not try to make them love readings. I would say with the King of Cups and the King of Wands here, I feel like what it's saying is the willingness to give love, but also receive love. And then the King of Wands reminds me of passion, but passion oriented. It makes sense with the Ace of Wands there. So I love the combination here because I feel like this is someone who will show you love, but in many different ways, like through actions and probably even through words. Look how that just floated out. Huh. Hello, Ten of Pentacles. Wow, wow, wow. House of Abundance. The House of Loyalty. Wow. This is a house that truly can take root. And how beautiful the Ace of Pentacles came out. And not just the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. And now we have the Ten of Pentacles. Well, number one, I feel like these lovers, they may do something together to create this true abundance and be very abundant together. And I feel like that's the secret, together. Like we put our minds together and what we come up with, I feel like it's going to be mind blowing. Nine of Pentacles. Interesting. You know, it's interesting because the Nine of Pentacles is coming over the Two of Swords, but the Ace of Pentacles is right above the Nine of Pentacles. So you take the Nine of Pentacles plus that Ace, you have the Ten of Pentacles. But the Nine of Pentacles is, well, they call it successful self-employment. But I have a feeling it's more than that. I almost feel like two lovers coming together and one may own a business and the other may become part of that business. Excuse me. You know, this is also independent energy. And that could be part of the fear, like, oh, you know, I won't be independent anymore. Yes, you will. You know, true love doesn't take away your independence. And I don't mean like independence to be alone, though alone time is fine. You know what I mean? Like I'm someone who I need some alone time. That's when I am my most creative. But I feel like this is saying that someone may own a business and the other lover becomes part of that business, and together they create the Ten of Pentacles. I really don't know what else we could ask for. We have the Six of Pentacles, that fine art of give and take, giving love and receiving love equally. This is a very compassionate and empathetic energy. And sometimes that's why we have to learn that art of give and take. Like, who am I helping? And am I helping to lift them? Because otherwise, what's the sense? But I feel like this is about finding balance. That beautiful art of give and take. I do feel like it's really important in love. Otherwise, someone's just going to be like, well, you know, if I'm the one who's always giving, then they're good. You know, I mean, I don't know how long I would take that. Look at the pentacles, all pentacles in this top line. All right, let's keep going now. You know, I do feel like some are saying, you know, if I'm going to give my heart, truly give my heart, though. You know what I mean? Like, truly allow oneself to love without restrictions. Then it's important that this give and take be equal. It's important to know that if I give, that I'll also receive. But you also have to be open to receiving. And I'm not really feeling it's an issue here. I actually feel like it's just describing maybe your future partner. You know, they may be very compassionate and empathetic, you know, like someone who wants to help others. We have the Seven of Cups. Here comes a question. But then look at this, your destiny. And by the way, it's coming over the Death card, card of Scorpio, and then the Seven of Pentacles. What I feel is already your destiny, the seeds that you have planted. This love is meant to happen. And there's not a lot standing in its way. Seven of Cups puts the ball in your court. You're either going to love or you're not. And if you're not, it has to do with those 10 swords, that repeat pattern But I feel like that is of yesteryear. There is no way there is no negativity here at all. There is just pure love. But I do see the past having some effect with your present day decisions. But maybe this reading is what's going to help you really overcome that. Again, it's like not allowing the past to predict what your present or your future is going to be. That's your job, right? As the fool, I'm leaving all that behind. I've learned the lessons. That's why you're in the awakened state. You're paying attention to your intuition. Beautiful, because I feel like the Ace of Wands is like heart chakras being activated. This feels like the divine time for this love to come together. And boy, do I hope it does, because not only do I feel like the love is going to be off the charts, I feel like the ability, the creativity, like the feeding ideas off of each other, and even creating a business together. Or if someone has a business, now the other lover is being maybe invited in. But it's showing that the two of you, well, I mean, you're just creating abundance. Look at the wheel mirroring the 10 of Pentacles. But the wheel, your destiny, is also connected to the Ace of Cups and the Lovers. So the Seven of Cups is you deciding whether you're going to accept that cup or whether you're not. All right, I think I'm going to go below also. We have the Three of Wands. This is the energy of optimism. Like in this energy, I would say, I expect good things to happen, and they do. Three of Wands, you're living in the present moment, just as the Fool is asking. But this is saying to the universe that I trust that my gifts will come in, and I trust that they will come in divine timing. Well, that's exactly what seems to be happening here. So the energy of optimism. And I feel like this is saying, even though we see the 10 of cups or the 10 of pentacles, and it makes sense that we see pentacles, the 10 of pentacles versus the 10 of cups. Not that it can't still come out, but me also being an earth sign, I would prefer to see the 10 of pentacles, because there's love in that home, but there's also abundance in that home. And as far as your money goes, it feels like that is being illuminated. Especially for those who own a business. You may have been wondering, like, when am I going to start seeing the fruits of my labor? I feel like soon. We have the Seven of Pentacles, but it turned itself around. Connected to that Two of Swords. Someone doesn't believe. Someone's not believing me. Someone's not sure if something is meant to happen. Someone may be questioning, well, can this potential love be my forevermore person? And everything is backing that up. I feel like the only place where it's not is in your thought system. Now, it could be the other person too. But Seven of Pentacles in reverse is mirroring the Strength card, which makes sense. So, for some of you, I feel like maybe you've been independent, and the thought of giving that up could be hard. But here's what I feel. I don't feel like, yeah, maybe you're giving up like living alone, but look at what you're gaining. And it's not that I feel this person takes away your independence, so to speak. First of all, I feel like if you choose, like in the Seven of Cups, if you say yes to that cup, by the way, in the Seven of Cups, there is a cup coming in. You can't see it in this image. And it can talk about chaotic energy, like something happening during a chaotic time. But it still puts the ball in your court. The Chariot, beautiful, unlimited potential. And by the way, this is the balance of the feminine and the masculine, the light and the shadow. And your intentions are really tells the Chariot where to go. So, Three of Wands is positive intentions. This makes this energy unlimited. Like it can soar. But it does need balance. Also card of Cancer, by the way. I feel like the biggest fear here on the table is whether, if I do allow myself to fall in love again, and by the way, this love feels of a higher vibration than I feel anyone you've been with. So this is different. This is not yesterday's love. This is a high vibrational love. So truly, it has unlimited potential. Even the sun mirroring the Chariot, who is connected again to the Lovers and the Fool. I feel like what it's saying is when there's balance, there's unlimited potential. Some of you could actually be making a move with the Chariot here, like a physical move. The Seven of Swords, interesting. Seven of Swords connected to the Seven of Cups is connected to the Ten of Swords. Okay, well, that makes it even more difficult relating to your past. This means that you dealt with someone who had untrustworthy energy. They call this a thief in the night. This is deception and envy. Now, it could be you because you are reversed up there. But if that's the case, this was you back in the day. But I feel more this is part of your fear. Will someone be honest? Well, with the sun here, you really don't have to worry about that. And because I feel this is connected to the past, not the present, nor the future, to me, it just means it may be energy that hasn't been cleared yet. It's like, here's this cup. I feel it. You can't help but feel it. The chemistry, I'm telling you, there's no way you can deny that. So the only issue becomes within the mind. Will I allow myself? Will I take that chance? Take that leap of faith? And by the way, the Three of Wands means you're just kind of stepping into it. You don't have to know what the ultimate outcome is because you're really writing it as you go. But boy, do I feel like you are meant to be with this person, and this person is meant to be with you. Two of Swords again. But look at this, connected to the High Priestess. Oh, I just saw all these marks across my finger. My fingers, I was getting something out of the oven and I literally put my hand down in the oven. But anyways, so here's this Two of Swords again, right? Mental conflict. But this is saying trust your intuition, not your fear-based mind. Follow your intuition. Choice is yours. But I feel like your guides are working overtime to show you that you can trust this. Not only can you trust it, but I feel like you're going to be pretty amazed at this type of love. Like this is high vibrational love. And it doesn't mean that everyone or anyone is perfect because no one is. You know, it doesn't mean that everyone comes to the table in perfect energy. But whatever energy I come to the table with, I feel like the other one will be able to tell. You know, so if I'm being resistant to this, then I have a feeling they'll be able to tell that it is your past that is keeping you in a fearful state. You know, this isn't taking away from your money, anything like that. You're still receiving those blessings. But I don't know why. And I'm not saying that you will refuse this, but I feel like if you do, I don't know. I hope you don't. Yeah, that's all I can say is I hope you don't. I love everything that I'm seeing, except for how the past still has some influence today. Other than that, if we could take that out of the picture, wow, what a love story it tells. By the way, I feel like these lovers, playful, joyful. Like I see music being put on in the kitchen, dancing, slow dancing, but laughing, like cracking each other up. It just feels ultimate, like the ultimate in love. And then the ultimate within business. You know, with or without this love, I still feel, again, you're going to see the fruits of your labor. But there is something that is telling me that these two lovers, they put their heads together. This abundance, this Ten of Pentacles, is for both. How do I make you believe? Your intuition is one way. Like, I feel like your spirit guide's saying that's our job. Like, we'll make sure that their heart chakras are activated. We can't make them move past what was. But if they do, then they're in for quite the awakening. But in all areas of your life. You know, it's interesting because when the hangman in the awakened state, I would think that you would look at this past energy and be able to understand it. You know, it can talk about like love because I feel like there's different levels of love. Like I think back to my younger years, you know, except for Sam, but my younger years, the people that I loved, you know, and it was real love, but it was lower vibrational love. And as I started to evolve, so did love. So did the people. So, what a reading. What a reading. Um, Trying to think, is there anything I want to clarify? Um, I don't think there's anything I want to clarify, but I do want to go right across the middle and just take a couple more cards and ask our guides. Oh, well, I was just going to say if there's anything I'm missing. The star. Now we have the star here twice. The death card. Scorpio. You know, the one thing I always notice in your reading is Scorpio is always part of it, just like you're always part of theirs. So I know some of you are connected to Scorpio. But then look at this. Wow. I mean, wow. This is the marriage card, but this is true commitment. Look at this man putting this woman on a pedestal on this beautiful white horse. Pure, innocent. I feel like both would do that for each other. There's no one kicking and screaming in this energy. This is wanting to be together. And this is the type of energy, just the way your reading is going. I feel like the potential of it lasting the rest of your life and beyond, because I feel like this is your person. It's here. And it's interesting because now with two star cards, it's like two people wishing upon the same star. You know, it's interesting because I literally just ask our guys, is there anything else that I might be missing or that wants to come out? And look what comes out. Like the Four of Wands to me is forevermore. But it's the love within the Four of Wands is what I love. You know, there's no one else like you. But it would be both saying that to each other, each putting each on a pedestal, knowing that this is not the love of yesteryear. This is real love. This is love that has the potential to last the rest of your life and beyond. There's no way you're not soulmates. There's no way. You are soulmates. I know it. I feel it. Some of you could be twins, but that's another reading. Okay, well, I'm not going to mess with perfection. Not that I'm saying my reading is perfection, but the messages I feel are really clear. Let's bring in the clarifying love situations. This is why I ask people to stick around to the end. All right. Okay, we got a few. We have turbulence. Heal unresolved conflicts with kindness, not anger. Heal unresolved conflicts with kindness, not anger. Controlling. Power struggles lead to being manipulated. Well, it could be exactly what happened in the Ten of Swords. And then we have moonlight unity. Use understanding to have greater emotional balance. So these two feel like they're a message about your past, and this feels like it's a message about your present. So let's go ahead and bring out the romance angels. Because love is everywhere. Love is in the air. Every time you turn around. Love is in the air. All right. Let's see what the romance angels have to say. This is a type of love where I would just let it flow. Like, I don't feel like I need to put any restrictions upon it because I feel like everything is going to be super clear. The sun is the illuminator, the hangman in the awakened state. Like, everything feels very clear to me. Even some past issues that have been left unresolved. It's clear. Pay attention to the red flags. The red flag or the signs are cautioning you. It did flip itself around, but I have a feeling there were some red flags with the Seven of Swords and Ten of Swords. And listen, we all get red flags, and many times we ignore them until we've learned, right? Until we really are seeking like our spirituality. And what I mean by that is it's remembering who you are, that you are a spiritual being, and the soul is the intellect. You are a spiritual being having human experiences. And these human experiences are to teach you and to help you evolve. Soulmate. I had no doubt. I had no doubt. Yes, this is your soulmate. I had no doubt. And then you deserve love. You are lovable. Look at her getting ready to shoot that arrow. It's reminding me of Cupid up there. You deserve love, and you are lovable. This soulmate's going to let you know that. And I hope you do the same for them. I feel like the question here is, do I allow myself to be the fool? Do I allow myself to take a chance? That leap of faith. Your intuition is guiding you, and your spirituality is guiding you. The only thing that's getting in the way is someone of the past who just put daggers in your back. They may have been a narcissist. because that's often what I feel, especially with the Seven of Swords now connected to that. I get why it's hard to like accept this ace, the Ace of Cups. I understand that, but at the same time, this truly is telling you that this is not about them. Like, their time is done. And don't allow them to take up space in your head, because that's what's happening. And that's probably why we're seeing the Strength card. Like, this is the one thing I feel that needs to be overcome. And, listen, I've been with cheaters, and I know it's hard to give your heart after that. But if you yourself, well, I just feel like you got to take a chance. You got to take a chance. I feel like you will understand it once you put your feet in the water. Then you will understand it. This love, starting at the Fool's energy, and then ending in the Four of Wands energy, true commitment. And for some, getting married. Like, this may be who you marry. It is your soulmate. And it is meant to be. And this feels like it's divine time. And I feel like I keep trying to talk you into something, which is not what I should do. Like, but I do want to point out, how the past can really affect our present. And we want to plant new seeds, right? New seeds. And I love the energy together here. I just love it. It's so abundant, but abundant in every way. Joyful. And last but not least, yes, this is your soulmate. And I'm going to leave it at that. I love you guys. I knew this was going to be one of these readings. And, I want to thank your guides, our guides. I feel like it just couldn't be any clearer. And if you're here because you love a Capricorn, then this may be part of where their resistance is coming from. But also be real with yourself too. Both the lovers are in the awakened state. That means the truth is the truth is the truth. But you're destined. And even the wheel coming over the Seven of Pentacles, it's like the wheel is bringing these two pentacles, these two lovers together. All right, gonna let that be. I love you guys. I loved your reading. I cannot wait to hear your comments. And, my wish is that this unfolds beautifully for you. But you have to let it at the same time. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye-bye.